welcome to Controversies of the Day with Logan
and Jay.
Happy New Year! It's 2024, buddy. Holy cow. It's a new year. It's going to be a new me. And just going to keep going forward. Anyway, 2024. Is this going to be a big year? I hope it's going to be a big year, especially for each and every one of you out there. This is going to, we're still doing our first year. I think it'll be 1 year in July, I guess, is when it probably will be our
October.
I think it's July we started this. Anyway.
I think it's October. Now I want to know.
Anyway, so we're still in our first year. We're working this out here, working the kinks out, and having a lot of fun. So lots of stuff coming up. Obviously, it's an election year. This is the big deal, and we're going to get right off to the races here in a couple weeks. I think it's January 15th. I think is Iowa, and then New Hampshire's coming up, and then South Carolina. And then I think a few more primaries in February, and then into March, Super Tuesday. And we're going to know a lot. We're going to know a lot here. You know, as I've said before, Iowa's kind of a tricky one. I mean, obviously Donald Trump is way ahead in the Republican polls, but Iowa's done some wacky things in the past where somebody wins that who does not go on to get the nomination. It's happened before, including Pat Robertson, who I think passed away this past year, the televangelist. He actually beat the sitting vice president in 1988, George Herbert Walker Bush, in Iowa. Go figure. Mike Huckabee won in 2008. He won that one. So it happens. It does happen. So we'll see we'll see where that goes. And obviously South Carolina's got to be a big deal for Nikki Haley, right? Because if Trump destroys her in her own state, maybe it's time for her to step down. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Back to Raytheon.
One of the big things is now. Did you see this? Now there's supposed to be some more Epstein lists coming out. Some judge in New York wants this released.
Yeah. I think there's a potential 70 names or something like that might be on it.
So this could be extremely interesting.
We'll see. I feel like they'll release it all.
Yeah.
Because now they're cherry picking. So who they're protecting. Just give you the crumbs so you're happy with what you got. So, yeah. I don't know.
To me, this is the big story. And Logan and I I don't think we've even really covered it enough. But we haven't forgotten about it, folks. And we don't want you or anybody to forget about it. I mean, this really is one of the big ones. I don't know about you, buddy, but I'm a little bit of a conspiratorial guy. And when you deal with conspiracies, you get all these people kind of pat you on the head. Oh, you're a tinfoil weirdo, and you're so stupid, and blah blah blah. And they want to talk condescending to you. And then this happens, and this is all for real, and this has all come out. This guy who's involved with human sex trafficking, underage girls, this guy's connected to almost everybody who is somebody, from big-time Wall Street people to big-time entertainment people to people like, who? Yeah, Bill Gates. Wait, what? Wait, what was that? Bill Gates? I mean, you're Bill Gates, and why would you ever meet with some guy like that? Wouldn't you have your people maybe meet with him? You know what I mean? A lot of strange stuff. And Donald Trump knew him. Bill Clinton definitely knew him. He may have taken some trips on the Lolita Express. So my point is, folks, is that guys like Logan and I don't know if you felt this way, but like I said, I've been talked down to by a lot of people, snickered at by a lot of people, all the different conspiratorial things that I've expressed to people over the decades. They just can't, they don't believe it. They can't handle it. They want to cling to this pro wrestling view that there's a Democrat, there's a Republican, and there's really two sides, and they don't want to believe it. Well, up here, there's money people that control the D and the R, and they don't want to believe it. But then here you got this guy who definitely had his tentacles to both Democrats, Republicans, big money people, big entertainment people, royalty. Wow, holy cow, man. This is creepy stuff. And then, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell's fate is still up in the air. What's going to happen with her?
I think they're assets to some government or company, and I think she was the handler, and they let Epstein go, and they're keeping her because she might know more. So she'll stay alive, at least in prison. We'll see.
It is an incredible story. It is an incredible story, and it is amazing. Now, so her father was Robert Maxwell. He was a big deal in England. If anybody wants to look him up,
he was a failed media mogul.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder about Epstein. You gotta wonder if he is a part of an apparatus, part of a maybe somebody's intelligence agency. I'm not going to say which one.
Well, think about it. So he gets in bed with a woman, whose daddy owned a failed media company, but he's a billionaire. So it couldn't have been that failed, right?
Well, I think he was taking his employees' pensions, where he was raiding their pension funds. I think. Yeah, he was a fun guy, Robert Maxwell.
In any case, so he obviously has some big connections, right? Because it didn't seem like he had any kind of jail time for all these allegations, or if anything actually came to light. In any case, the point being, there's a nice little setup to almost like a spy movie, right? So now you got this guy set up, and he meets this woman who just happens to have connections to a father who has connections with everybody in media. Now, we already know media controls everything. We think it's like politicians or governments or that are controlling these guys. No, like you said, it's the fingers up here. It's a relatively handful of people that control this planet, and they do it with media for being one of them. So what's to say, again, you have the option of media. What if, years ago, all these sex tapes were coming out, right? Regardless of how serious, if they were let go or whatever the case may be. Some of those really damaged a lot of people that had these pictures and stuff come out. What's to keep Epstein setting up people where they sit on his island? There were cameras everywhere, so their pictures are being taken of everybody who went to the island or did anything in any of these rooms. So again, it just makes sense that this guy was there just to provocate, blackmail. Hey, I'm gonna, I got this place. I know what you're into. You already got money. You already got power. You already got everything else in the world. You can do anything you want legally, but maybe you want something different. And this guy had a special little island and his own little jet to get there, and this handler that could get him out of trouble. I mean, this guy was caught before too in Florida, or caught in another type of thing.
Yeah. He had house arrest, folks. House arrest. Yeah.
So again, it's just I think he was an asset, and he was an asset of an asset and had to get taken out. And she was the handler, and she's more directly connected to whoever her bosses are. And again, she's probably smarter. Obviously, hid this book for so long. They only found the book. Again, this guy had professional recording stuff in his home. Where's all that stuff at? Where did they take that?
Yeah,
was it
FBI,
even there?
DOJ.
Was it there though?
Who's got it? CIA? No. Who has all this stuff?
Or maybe she cleaned it out. She's got it hidden. That's her chip to stay alive. Who knows?
Yeah, that would make sense.
I find it funny that this guy, nobody more or less, dies like that. But she is a complete nobody in the public eye until, but again, in the whole industry of media or being, I don't know. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
But again, 70 names. That's it. Around 70. Where's the hundreds? There's supposed to be hundreds of people in these little black books.
Yeah, I thought it was 300, but maybe you're right.
So why are we cherry picking? Why are we protecting? Why don't you just release it all? What's the difference if you release 70 to 300? None. It's just more people, more of these perverts are going to hopefully get what's coming to them.
And yet, what are the laws on that island? On that island, could adult men be with underage girls? And
at this point,
that's probably the way out for the whole.
Let's be moral about this. No, anyone whose name's on, I don't care what the law is. No,
I agree.
No, you're done. You come back into this nation, done something like that. No, that's like going over to wherever you can and killing some bum in the street, taking a video of it, and it being okay over there in that country, and then coming back here. No, how does that even make sense? You come back into the country, same laws apply. So I think yeah.
So we haven't heard the last of that, and who knows, folks? maybe when the Epstein lists come out, they do come out. Maybe they will have a UFO sighting again. Maybe we'll have that distraction.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Or there'll be some Hunter Biden stuff, or something's going to come out all at the same time to distract you from what they don't want you to really pay attention to. Well, look, stock market bounced up this past year. I gotta say, I didn't see that coming. It's bounced back. There's talk of interest rates coming down. I don't hold your breath on that one, folks. I think if interest rates come down, it's because something bad's going to happen in the economy. That's just one man's opinion. Gas prices aren't bad right now, so I have to be a little bit positive about a few things here. The regional bank thing, that was a little scary, though, about 9 months ago. Mm-hmm. And you got to wonder, is that done as we go forward in 2024? Is that done, or is there more to come?
Probably more. I mean,
to come with that.
What that show is they consolidated a couple small banks. Well, that didn't help our inflation because now the U.S. government's paying for the shit. So that's why our inflation goes up. But I can see it happen again, and the rise of this whole Bitcoin ETF stuff really scares me too. I mean, it's an artificial money. It's not tradable. I mean,
it's on the rise. It's over 40,000 now. No, it's not anywhere near its old high, but
it doesn't do anything. There's no. What does it do? It's just a means of faster money transfers, essentially. Like I don't get it. How is it like gold is something physical? A dollar is supposed to be an ounce of gold. And where the breakdown was that's what's supposed. This means something.
Right, it does.
Bitcoin doesn't mean anything. They want to talk like it's revolutionary. No, it means the dollar. It's a dollar because you had to use that dollar to get that Bitcoin. So what are you doing? You're just creating another medium. So what's going to keep this new rising fad, just like it did a couple years ago in crypto across the board? It was the big thing. Look at Dogecoin or any of these other stupid coins that made millionaires, but also made more people poorer. I mean, it's all a scam. There's
a lot of pump and dump there.
Well, again, it's a medium for what? You can't. And then so you trade. We've traded a dollar for gold, and now a Bitcoin for a dollar. And then you can only use that Bitcoin to other people that use that Bitcoin or any crypto. Like you can't, like there's places that won't take Bitcoin. So what are you supposed to do? You got all your money invested in Bitcoin. So what? So everyone's going to do this big pump. This is a big pump. And thanks, Larry Fink. This is all because of you. This big pump. And I'm sure you're going to insure all this shit. And then because people are going to realize it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's no different than the dollar. It's like, we're going to create a digital dollar. It's going to be better. It's going to be safer. No, that means more control, and it's still the same shit it was. It's just not digital. We already got digital dollars. It's called Bitcoin. So I don't understand the fascination. I'm sure some asshole is going to sit there and say, this is utility in the blockchain. But you're trading a dollar for a Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin doesn't do anything. It's just now another coin. It's a dollar. It's the same shit. Actually, it's now been devalued because as soon as you buy that Bitcoin, you ain't getting that dollar back, essentially, unless you're one of these lucky fuckers that can dump tons of money into it, and then it goes up whatever metric it goes up, and then you can sell it all off and make a couple $1,000s. Well, some schmucks like us can't do that. So again, I think it's a dumb people thing. Hey, look at this. You talked about it forever. People got rich in the crash. It's cheap now. It's more affordable. And we're going to put it in these ETFs, and you're going to be able to buy small portions of it and be part of this whole big, and it's going to crash, and you're going to fucking lose it all. And Mr. Fink there, or whatever little side hustle he's got going on, is going to probably insure all that. So when it all crashes, he ain't going to lose nothing. He's going to make billions and trillions of dollars off this crash.
Now, moving on to other things, one of the big problems of 2023, and obviously it's still going on as we go into 2024, is our borders are out of control. People have been talking about this for a long time, and some of those people are called racist and xenophobic. No, we let in about 1 million people a year. I'm not talking about illegals undocumented. That's a whole other topic. We are a nation of immigrants. Okay, let's be honest here. We are a nation of immigrants. We let people in. People always be coming here to the United States from all over the globe. So we're not this racist, xenophobic country, but we should be able to control our own immigration policies. And, if we want to criticize the policies, that they will and they can and whatever. But this uncontrolled stuff, this is crazy. We're letting all kinds of people in. You don't know what all their agendas are. And the people on the border states, I guess is it Abbott, Greg Abbott? I don't know what his name. I forget the governor of Texas, and he's sending them on buses or planes or whatever to Martha's Vineyard and to Chicago. And some of these cities have called themselves sanctuary cities. Well, if you're a sanctuary city, and then they're all like, whoa, wait a minute, hey.
They don't want to deal with it now that they have to deal with it.
I mean, it's funny, but yet it's a mess, and overall, it just shows how messed up the federal government is, because the federal government should be handling this properly.
That's the problem, though. Is anyone going to learn from this mistake, or are they just going to find a better solution to get what they want? I mean, I think we can agree. Why would you think we're just going to let all these people in? Like, what do you think is their motive?
Okay. There's several issues going on here. I don't know if you want to call them conspiracies, you want to call them agendas. A lot of Republicans will just say, oh, well, it's the Democrats. They want to increase their base and they want to get these people eventually where these people can vote, even though they're not supposed to be able to vote. And the Democrats want to give them much free stuff. So the Democrats want to increase their base. And so that's one theory or talking point or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of other funny things that have gone on for decades now. I'll give you one. One of my places of employment, not the current one, but there were some folks from south of the border came up and they got a hold of a false Social Security number. Okay. Well, they get working for an employer. The employer sends money to the Social Security Administration in Washington, D.C., but that money will never get back to that worker, you see, because that worker was using a false number, and sometimes that gets found out and whatnot. Even when it gets found out, do you think the Social Security Administration sends that money back to the employer, say the factory or the business? No. Well, Democrats and Republicans, folks, have been borrowing from the Social Security system for a very, very long time. They were never supposed to do that. Only in emergencies or war were they supposed to be able to do that. They've been doing it for a long time. And our whole budget is such a huge mess. We're over $30 trillion in national debt. So there's a little Social Security, there's a little scam going on there. That's not the whole reason we're doing it. I would say, and this is just, again, just a common man's opinion, I think they need the workforce. That's part of the reason we're letting these people in, because a lot of Americans don't want to work, and a lot of jobs need to be filled. And so I'm seeing a lot of that too. So I think there's several things, and maybe other things that I'm not even thinking of right now. But how hard would it be for the United States government to sit down with the Mexican government and say, okay, you are our southern neighbor. We want to work together, and we'll come up with some, basically a win-win situation. And we'll have so many people every year come in, and we'll put in money to teach people language, give people shots if they need tuberculosis shots, for example, just whatever. And we'll let so many people in, working visas and everything. I mean, you could have a system and it could all work out. And why not? I mean, a lot of people come here, say, for example, from Mexico, and they send billions back to Mexico every year. I mean, it's a very strange world we live in. And these are very strange days in the United States of America. And it's so funny with both parties if you really just step back from it. Each party has issues that they want all these rules and regulations, and then they each have these situations where, well, we can be kind of loosey-goosey on that. We can be kind of laissez-faire on that. And we can let people over the border who, are undocumented. And, we can let people vote who don't have a photo ID. And we can do the, you each have you want to be real strict. And then you each have your loosey-goosey, laissez-faire, we'll just kind of, we won't really enforce the law. It's very strange, both parties. You need to really come together here, Democrat, Republican, if you believe they really exist, and do some common sense laws for the people, for the country. And immigration is a mess. So you can start right there. Okay? All right. Let's go, Joe. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. That goes for Joe Biden and for people like Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago. Oh boy, that guy is something else. So we have a mess. Let's hope in 2024 that the powers that be, they got a D by their name or an R by their name, they all come together. Let's get the border under control, people. And we are a nation of immigrants, by the way, people. Don't fool yourself. Don't kid yourself. Everybody, unless you're a Sioux, right, or an Apache, or a Seminole, or a Potawatomi. Okay, you get where I'm going with this. Unless you come from that kind of background, one of those nations. No. Everybody came here either a long time ago or recently from somewhere else, and that's what we are. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. So anyway, 2024 should be an interesting year, folks. We've got a big election. I hope everybody gets registered. Hope everybody participates. Everybody votes, especially in the primaries. This is such an important time to get out there and to vote. Do you have any parting words about 2024, buddy?
We'll see.
Well, we are going to do our best. We're going to make this show bigger and better all the time. Well, we're going to try, to do that. And we're going to try to give you a perspective on the news and world events that maybe you're not going to get other places. And again, I think I do agree with our buddy Patrick Bet-David, though. I think chaos is what's ahead of us in 2024.
It'll be a lot.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. The election, there's gonna be a lot of chaos.
I hope I'm wrong, folks. I hope I'm wrong. A lot of prayers out there. But tune in here, folks, and we will sort through the nonsense, try to make sense of the nonsense if we can, and try to make some sense of the ridiculous. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do our best, indeed. Y'all take care. Love you all. It says 2024. Let's go forward, people. Let's have a great year. Let's get out there and vote. All right. God bless.